there guys, my name is the CHALL, your Doncaster Rovers fan and sports channel, and welcome to this DRFC Transfer Report. We released one yesterday. The transfer reports are coming daily again, so very thick and fast uploads on this channel with that. And we've got another one today. We're going to be talking about Tulloch. What does it mean to the recruitment for Rovers after that signing, and Moore's recruitment. And the first story today will be about the re-signing of Andy Butler on a short-term contract. We spoke more about that in the we spoke a little bit about that in terms of the first details in the transfer analysis that we did for Andy Butler, that we do with all the new players this season and beyond. And we're going to speak more in detail through a free press article about this transfer, and as well as that, another free press article speaking about Tulloch. So before we get started, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss a YouTube video. And for now, guys, let's get into talking about this brand new episode of DRFC Transfer Reports. So the first story, again, like the second story, comes from the Free Press. Andy Butler has sealed his return to the Rovers after signing a short-term contract with the club. The former club captain and current boss of Donny Rovers Bells has agreed a deal until 2021 January following a successful trial. Bawlby-born Butler left Rovers at the end of the 18-19 season, ending a 5-year spell at the Keepmoat, but he's back a year on and ready to add to his 222 appearances for the hometown club. Now, the centre-half has impressed boss Darren Moore with his fitness levels, as well as his presence on the pitch and training ground, and Moore was keen to add an experienced head to the squad following the departure of Matty Blair at the end of last season, and also wants to add more depth to his defensive ranks. Butler spent last season with Scunthorpe United, but after 21 appearances, he was released earlier in this summer. So there we go. That is speaking about Andy Butler. Some more details from the transfer analysis, speaking in this free press article. A bit more details about why this happened. You know, we needed more defensive ranks to create squad depth. And, you know, I said this in previous occasions and previous videos. Squad depth was the biggest problem that we needed to overcome. I said many times with squad depth to try and resolve that. We need a goal, you know, before we signed anyone. You know, we knew we signed the Kilo, but as well as that, we needed to talk about who else we needed to sign. We needed to sign a goalkeeper, we needed to sign new defenders as backup, we needed to sign new midfielders for the first team and backup, we needed a new winger, we got the Kilo, and of course we needed some new strikers. I'm going to adjust the hat because, you know, I'm getting serious right now. Goalkeeper, we've got Bursic, we've resolved that. Lewis Jones coming through as well, very good kid. We've resolved that issue. Defence, Cameron John on a permanent deal. Butler now on a short-term deal. We've still got Reece James. We've got Danny Amos coming through the ranks. We've got Hornton, Blythe coming through the ranks as well. So and Wright and Anderson, of course, the starters. So we've sorted that defensive issue. Midfield, we've got Whiteman as club captain, but of course the likes of Shaif went back to Arsenal and then loaned out again to Coventry, I believe. So we needed midfield ranks in the holding midfield option. Now, yes, we've got Gomez, but he's not a holding midfielder; he's more of an attacking one. So we did need holding midfielder ranks. We've got the likes of Taylor Richards, we've got Ed Williams that can play in the deep midfield. So we resolved that issue. In the cam position, Richardson, Ed Williams and Gomez as well can play cam with Coppinger. So again, we've resolved that issue with squad depth. Wingers, we've got Lakilo on the right, Teller on the left. Yes, we might need another one on each side to complement them as backup options, but yes, to an extent, we've solved that issue. And Tulloch, to be fair to him, I've heard that he can play in any three positions of the attack. I think behind the striker, in front of the striker position, behind the striker, maybe on the wings as well. He played in the wings for West Brom as well, so again, with Tulloch, we've solved that issue. And striker, we've got John Jules and Tulloch behind Fajiri Okudabiri. We solved every single issue that we needed to solve for squad depth. We solved every single position that we needed to fill. Yes, we may need maybe one more winger. I mean, Julian Lamy, you know, young French guy that used to be at Rotherham. Is he the answer for the left wing side? If Tulloch could play right wing, maybe? As well as backup striker to Fajiri along with John Jules. Who knows? Maybe Lamy is the last signing we need to make. But apart from a left winger and a young right back to back up to Halliday, you know, we only need one or two more players and that's it. We're pretty much done for transfer business. We've pretty much solved nearly every single area that we needed to address in the summer. And I've said this in the past, that's why we've got the best owners in the country. Not financially, because, you know, we haven't got much money in the bank as a club, because we're a League One club, and we're not exactly the biggest club in the world. But I say we're the best owners in the club, and I say that because the owners come out and say exactly what needs to happen. They don't sell us any BS. They deal what needs to be dealt with. They back the manager. They back the fans. Don't forget, they back the fans and the managers. They care about the football and not just the business side of things. And, you know, we are trying to improve the football, and we're trying to improve the squad depth to get those promotions to the Championship and hopefully even the Premier League. And, you know, we're a building squad. We're an evolutionising squad, if that's even a word. So the signing of Butler, like I said in that transfer analysis, a veteran defender, experience, new voice in the dressing room, that knows the club inside out. He knows, for his 5-year spell at the club previously before that year break, he knows the club well, he knows the ins and outs. He can, you know, inform the youngsters and the new signings and help them gel in a bit more to get a lot of that feeling in the club back. So, you know, we've got some brilliant recruitment, and, you know, somebody said it on a I think, I'm not sure who posted it on Facebook, but there was something that was posted on Facebook, and somebody commented this. People have us as not the bookies' favourite to go up, but compared to bigger teams that are in ownership crisis, like your Hull, your Charlton, your Wigan, your Sunderland, your Ipswich to an extent, Portsmouth to an extent, you know, all these clubs that are having problems, we are doing better than they are. And they are bigger clubs. You know, in terms of size and history, they are bigger clubs than Rovers. But in terms of what they've done this season in the summer so far, we have done better than some of them big clubs. And, you know, I'm really optimistic going into this season. And that's why I said in my League One prediction video, along with the Championship and League Two, that's why I said we are getting promoted to the Championship this season, because we've improved squad depth, we've improved the positions that we need to improve, and we've got the team gelling together. Yes, it's been a tight schedule. I blame the EFL for that. And I don't think COVID helped either. But, you know, we're overcoming that. We're trying to overcome that. And we're having the players needed to swap in and out for stamina reasons or morale reasons to help us get ahead. So that's why I predicted such a good result for the opening day tomorrow, because I think we'll do well in the opening day tomorrow. So, you know, very exciting stuff. And through the Butler signing, again, another voice in the dressing room, which is very exciting stuff. So let's get into talk about our second and final story of today's transfer report before we sign off and get ready for the opening day of the season tomorrow. And this is about Rayhaan Tulloch. Now, we know he's signed. I released the transfer analysis today. And yeah, let's talk about Rayhaan Tulloch and what that means for the recruitment of our manager, Darren Moore. So, according to the Free Press, the question of the headline is where the signing of Rayhaan Tulloch leaves Darren Moore's recruitment drive at Doncaster Rovers. The signing of Rayhaan Tulloch represents a huge step toward Darren Moore completing his renovation project within the Rovers squad. In securing the deals for both John Jules and Tulloch in a matter of days, Moore has landed 2 of his main summer targets, plus 2 significant pieces in his jigsaw for the coming campaign. Moore set out at the start of the summer to beef up his attacking ranks and alter the style of his forward group slightly. The Rovers boss was keen to add pace and power at the top end of the pitch, and when John Jules, Tulloch and Taylor Richards in the attacking midfield and, you know, the overall midfield option, he's done that. He's absolutely done that. It hasn't been easy. For both, there was intense competition, with Tulloch in particular. There was more lucrative deals on the table from elsewhere. But Moore's reputation within the game especially, as well as Rovers' growing standing as a place to blood youngsters, helped get the deals over the line. And for now at least, Moore is content with the options at his disposal and will turn much of his attention to ensuring his side are fully prepared for competitive action over the first few weeks of this season. He's a manager who does not appreciate distractions where matches are specifically concerned. Now, as well as this, this doesn't mean, though, he will stop looking for new additions. Now, contract offers have been made for 2 of the trialists now. Of course, we said yesterday that 1 contract offer had been made, with no negotiations as of yet, but it's been offered. But we now know that 2 of the trialists have been made. Now, of course, we know that Butler is signed, so that's one of them, and I'm guessing the other one will be the young right back. With Moore keen to add depth to his defensive lines where possible, and that gives you a slight clue that it will be the young right back, as well as we already know Andy Butler on a short-term contract. Now, Rovers boss will keep his eye on the transfer market with the help of the identification manager Adam Henschel. By the way, shout out to Adam because he's been fantastic this season, and examine available options. So with 4 loanees on the book already, Moore will certainly look to add at least one more temporary signing, though only permitted 5 loanees in any matchday squad. Privately, Moore would be more than willing to take his number beyond the limit. Now, the transfer market is expected to roar into life towards the end of the window, which closes domestically on October 16th. And Moore will be ready to pounce to add strength in depth by that particular point. So there we go. That is looking at where this leaves us in terms of recruitment. So basically, to summarise, with all those details being announced on the Free Press article from what we're hearing, pretty much to summarise, it will be much of our attention now is on the first few weeks of the season, and if we are going to sign anyone else, then I think we're probably going to sign that young right back that we got on trial. Apparently, he's called Charlie Seaman, rumouredly supposed to be Charlie Seaman, who's a Bournemouth youngster, spent on seasons on loan at Maidstone, Eastleigh, Dundee United. So he's got experience at other clubs, and the fact we're going to possibly get him permanently, and the fact that he was one of the trialists, you've got to put 2 and 2 together. Butler's obviously signed on a short-term contract now, so obviously that's one contract we've got over the line, and it looks like Charlie Seaman will probably be the other one. And to be fair, I've seen some stuff from him. He hasn't really broken into the first team at Bournemouth, but I think that it doesn't matter. I think he'd be a good backup option for Brad Halliday, and I think he'd have the games where necessary, along with the likes of Danny Amos. And I think that, I think we are going to keep, trying to sign players, even in the first few weeks of the season. I think the focus will be on the games, and there won't be any distractions, and Darren Moore will insist there will be no distractions towards those games. And I definitely think that we are in a good place at the minute. I think we're in a fantastic place at the minute. And like I said in that report, shout out to Adam Henschel, the identification manager, because you've identified some fantastic targets. And, people can call us stubborn in the transfer market. We've just gone out and got our top targets. John Jules, Tulloch, Bursick, Lakilo, Richards, Williams, all of them, Cameron John, they are all top targets. Pretty much all of them are top transfer targets, and we've got them. We've had first dibs on them because, even though there's been, impressive deals rumouredly from other clubs that are higher up than us in terms of stature and, bigger clubs than us, they've come to us. Permanently or on loan, they've come to us because we treat our loanees right, and for permanent signings, we create the future. We create the future, and this only strengthens why I think we will be a Premier League club in 10, 15, 20 years' time, because we are building a massive project right now. People won't see it, but I know deep down, I know a lot of fans deep down will know, we are building such a big renovation project at Rovers with Darren Moore at the minute, a former player as well, so someone else who knows the club. And, we're building this massive project, and we understand that it takes time. And we fully trust in the board's process. We fully trust in Moore, in how he runs the club, in how he shows the club, and what they want to be and how they want to run. And we run like an absolute clockwork machine. We run like absolute clockwork at the minute. And even though we haven't got the most money in the bank, we are the best. We are one of the best run clubs in the country because the fans are always honest with the board and vice versa. We're honest with each other. We don't sell each other any BS or anything like that. And, I'm very excited for the future of Rovers. I think we will potentially get promoted this season. I said playoffs, and I think we'll win the playoffs. I could see us potentially, and this is a dark horse option, I think we could get automatics as well. I said we'll win the playoffs. We'll be the last team in the playoffs and we'll win it. But I reckon we could have a shot at automatics if we keep the squad going forward, if we avoid major injuries, sellings of big players like Ben Whiteman. We need to keep Ben Whiteman. We know Coppinger's on his last season this season, so we know that players like Richards and Williams are going to get more game time next season if they don't get much this season, because obviously Coppinger's gone, so that's a player role we need to fill. And some of the loanees like Tulloch, like John Jules, like Richards especially, Bursick and players like that, they could be permanent players like Cameron John was this season. He was a loanee last season and now he's permanent. So these guys could be permanent players if they decide to leave their parent club, and we get first dibs on them because we've treated them right. And secondly, they were at us last, so we could have first dibs on them. So, the process works to perfection, and I think it'll just only get better and better and better. So there we go. So that is this episode of the DRFC Transfer Report. Shout out once again to Matty Blair for watching the video, the last transfer report yesterday. Big shout out to Matty Blair. Thank you very much, man. And for now, guys, I'm the CHALL. Please like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to my Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and Twitter, as well as my Coaster Channel YouTube channel as well. And for now, goodbye.